Hi, how you going? It's Corey Sievers here, coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and we're testing some multi-streaming tech tonight. And so, if you happen to be jumping on board the live session, love to see your comments so I can test things out. But here in the Savvy team, we have all sorts of shows planned for you, different content across different platforms. So we just wanted to jump on and test things out, see how things are going, and say hi since we haven't done a show in the new year 2021. So how's 2021 been for you so far? Has it been better than last time round, last year? 2020 was a challenging year for many people, a tremendous year for many others. So, how was it for you? And have you thought about what you can do in 2021 to make things a lot different to last year? It's interesting, I guess, when we think about making New Year's resolutions, that last year at this time started out pretty good too, and then all things changed. And so, it's an interesting thing when we talk about starting the year off and setting goals and making New Year's resolutions. Often, things can happen and you've got to be able to pivot. And, I saw some people say, one of the things that they learned, one particular person said, one of the things that they learned was, as a result of last year, was to be prepared. Yet, when I really thought about that, I thought, well, nobody could have prepared. So it's not about being prepared, it's about being flexible and able to pivot and make changes. So there's sort of, in terms of business and etc., it's the businesses that have been able to pivot and recreate themselves that actually prospered in the whole of 2020. So, think about your situation. What can you do to recreate yourself? Is it a health improvement goal that we may be able to help you with? Is it something else, a lifestyle improvement goal? Really, really good time of year to start to focus on the things that you can do to make changes. So we're going to do, we want to do a bit of testing. This is a bit of an informal session. I don't have a lot of content to share with you, but I do have some ideas that I've jotted down about change that you can create, like ideas for change to, bring about a little bit of a shift in yourself and your goals and your health this year. So I might cover some of those things as we test things out. So thank you very much for being on live. Great to see some familiar faces, and I want to see whether I can actually see where you're coming from. Let me know where you're actually joining in from. We're testing some multi-stream tech here. So, hi to those who might be joining on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, in some of our private groups, and also on my profile. So, just let me know where you happen to have caught this. We want to test things out. So, let me see what we can do here to bring things together. So bear with me. As I said, if you just happen to jump on, Corey Sievers here, coming to you live from Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and we're testing some tech, sort of getting prepped for some Savvy Team new shows that we're doing with the Savvy Team, and all about health and lifestyle improvement. We've got some big things planned. So look, hey, let us know too in the comments whether there are particular topics that really interest you that we might be able to put on the schedule. So it looks like Linda, our lead wellness guide, is joining in from YouTube at the moment. Good to see that we can see that. Let me know too whether you're all able to see each other's comments on. I don't think that the software can aggregate the comments, so you're only going to see it on platform, but at least I can see your comments, which is great. So Emma writing in, it's great to see your lovely face tonight. Oh, thank you, Emma. I appreciate that. And Happy New Year. Yes, indeed. Happy New Year to you too. So it looks like Linda is multitasking, joining from multiple different locations to help me test this out. Good to see. All right, so Emma, thanks for that. You're on the Facebook page, the Savvy Team Facebook page. So good, 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 good. And so we'll be able to see that it's just, they've been having this particular tech that I've used in the past. They then had some advancements and issues and all that sort of thing, and we weren't using it during that time. So I've had a bit of a steep learning curve catching up with what's actually going on. Yeah, so Emma said that I can't see Linda's comments from YouTube. No, it won't be able to aggregate the things, obviously, unless I bring them up. But you can see. If I put them on screen, you can see what's going on. And I guess what I meant when tell me where you're coming in from, it was, I appreciate you letting me know where, like as in Witter and Kelvin Grove, but I was being platform centric, as in YouTube and Facebook. But I can see that, so I appreciate that. Yeah, so as I was thinking about, some of the things I've been reading recently, some of the things on New Year's resolutions, and New Year's resolutions are an interesting one because so many people, are against making them. So many people fail. It's believed that I think about 75% of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the time January completes. So statistically, if you set some New Year's resolutions, statistically you've already given up on them, and that's just no good. We can't have that. We just can't have that. So we have to make some changes there. See whether I can find my notes that have disappeared now. All right. Well, that's an inconvenient truth. I was talking about not so much New Year's resolutions and goal setting and everything, but some ideas on, ways to create a bit of change and a bit of, kickstart a reinvention of you, really. Some of the things that you can do that you might not have thought about. It's easy to set our goals and to be sort of fixed in the same sort of things that we've always been going for. And so I guess some of the ideas that I was wanting to share with you were outside of that. So Linda, but hey, look, we're planning new shows, and new content. So please let me know whether there's anything in particular that you're looking for in terms of health improvement, lifestyle improvement, those sorts of things, so that we can plan them as part of the show. Because it's interesting that sometimes when we're looking at setting our goals, they may not be so realistic. And so when we talk about setting realistic goals, it's not like this: gain weight, save less money, set realistic goals. Bringing your goals to be a more realistic as such when we're looking at resolutions isn't about making them, like what you're just likely to happen, just stumbling into your goals. Sometimes I like what Bob Proctor, he's a bit of considered somewhat of a guru in the personal development space, I guess. And I like the fact that he said, don't set goals, like don't set getting a new car or getting a new job or, even reaching a new weight for the goal itself. Set the goal for the person it will make you become in the journey to the accomplishment of that goal. So, each and every goal that we set to reach a new level helps us to learn and grow and develop as a person, learn new skills, understand things more. If it's a health-related goal, it's understanding our bodies a little bit more. And so, set that goal, and it may not seem realistic, but it creates a different momentum and a different can open your mind up to more possibilities as well. So we don't want to, when we talk about setting realistic goals, we don't want to set them that realistic. Yes. So anyway, number one, I guess I shouldn't go by the digits and say, okay, number one, because I don't actually have a complete proper list of 21 ways to expand your year and make it the best year yet. Oh, I've come up with that as we look at some of these ideas. But look, the first thing I thought about is in this year, because last year was a year of forced change for many. And it's actually, when I look at some of the things that it's created change that I wanted to see, but it was difficult, because you just tend to do the things that you've always done. And so it's certainly forced more of this, more of online communication, more people to be aware of Zoom and these sorts of technologies for connecting. So, rather than being somebody who gets change forced upon them, be somebody who creates change, at least in your own life. So what new experiences could you create? What things have you, wished you could have done? Can you expand your thinking to create some new experiences? That's one thing that might help make 2021 your best year yet. Have you got if you're in business or sales, whatever, have you got a plan? Do you have a business plan? Do you have a life plan? Do you have not just goals, but also a little bit of some action steps to achieve them? Have you written a bucket list? Have you written a 101 goals that I'd like to achieve before this? Just free thinking type of things. Often when we think, what would I like to achieve this year, we can become very fixed and less free thinking. Whereas if we expand the actual time frame and allow it to be, not so time bound, even though time bound goals are important, it allows you to free up your thinking a bit more. So have you got a 101 life goals list, for example? Maybe that could be something that could make a difference. Linda writing in before that flexibility is key, especially in business. Well, even in health too. So here in the Savvy team, where we have a whole team of wellness guides helping you reach the next level of health and wellness. And, sometimes in your goals, in your health goals, you have to be flexible. It doesn't always pan out. And this is one of the things, weight loss is a huge, pardon the pun, a huge focus for many people when they start out the year. And most of the programs out there, the majority of the programs out there don't even allow for metabolic flexibility within you as an individual. They sort of treat you as like everybody else. And yet we're all unique and we have different goals. We also have different idiosyncrasies and we have different metabolisms. And yet pretty much most of the programs I look at, they're all treating you like just like everybody else, rather than building in program flexibility that can adjust and help you to meet your goals. So that's what we do differently here in the Savvy team. We're about helping you reach your best potential, not just do our program as such. So anyway, be flexible, as Linda was sort of saying. So since that's another tip there, be committed to your health. Can you make a commitment? What actions could you do? Could it be starting an exercise regimen? Could it be giving up sugar? We've been having a quit sugar challenge going on and off since the beginning of the year. And, it's hard for some people, but easy for others. And so for those of you that, hey, giving up sugar was easy, you might need to consider something like a processed food or a vegetable oil. Get rid of all vegetable oils. Get rid of grains, for example. Because it's not just about picking goals that are easy. It's about picking goals that challenge you to reach that next level. So make a commitment to some shift in your health and well-being. If you're getting any gems from this too, then let me know. I'd love to share them with everybody here. All right, so can you find ways to contribute? Can you find ways, whether it be volunteer or whatever, because when you can get outside of yourself and look to again, that breeds flexibility, looking to flex with other people and understand that we're all unique. We're not all going to see things from the same perspective. So can you take yourself outside of yourself and see things from another person's perspective? And sometimes volunteering, getting out and doing community type events, or mixing with organizations such as what we are here in the Savvy team, maybe that can help you get outside yourself and be a bit, change your level of thinking. So I think this person, hi, you must be joining from a group, one of our groups, whether it's our Healthy, Wealthy, Wise group, because I think we don't get to see who you are if you're in the group. So I think that's there. Can you see Dragisa from the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise group? She said hi from there. Well, there we go. It must be you, Dragisa. So nice of you to join us from the group there. Okay, so can you build value every day? Can you build value? How do you build value? How do you contribute value? Well, sometimes it's just looking for how you can serve other people. Gary Vaynerchuk is very famous for his, like marketing tactic in essence, that he calls jab, 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 right hook, meaning, give, give, give before you ask. And, so many companies, so many individuals, it's just ask straight for what you want. You look at, for example, Facebook, Instagram, for example, direct messages, get to direct messages every day with people just going, bam, this is what I do. No warming me up, no jab, 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 just bam, buy my stuff. So how can you stand out from the crowd by offering value in whatever you're doing? Your job, your small business, if you might be in sales, direct sales, network marketing, those sorts of businesses, whatever it is, how can you add value every day? Can you increase your awareness of your thoughts and your values? Now, people say, I value this and I value that. How you can tell what you really value is what you spend time on and what you spend money on. So take a look around you and think about what your values are. How can you increase your awareness in your values so that you can set goals that fulfill upon those, do things that nourish those values, and how can you be more aware of your thinking, whether it be stinking thinking or whether it be good positive thinking? It's good for you to just challenge yourself to be aware of the ruts that you can get into. All right, have you thought about scheduling your time? Now, thank you so much for joining us here on this live broadcast, but do be aware that social media news feed. So when we're talking about the previous things, about connecting and adding value, how can you connect with people on your friends lists? For example, the people you're friends with, let's say on the platform of Facebook. Okay. How can you connect with those people? How can you message them more, be of value rather than just be consumed by the news feed? There are very powerful, like influence professionals are hired to keep you addicted to the scroll, to the news feed. So how can you, be in there, get into social media, but be there to add value without being consumed by that? So, and scheduling your time to do certain tasks and being really strict with yourself can really, this was all an extension of scheduling yourself better. Because I've found that I've gone onto Facebook, for example, to do something like schedule something like this or fix something up, and lo and behold, I'm caught by the feed. Now, that's no drama, but if you get caught for too long and you therefore think, oh my God, I've just spent hours on social media trying to get this work done, when in actual fact it was, maybe half an hour, with a lot of the rest of it being your time being consumed. So how can you take control of your time so that 2021 is a much more powerful year for you? Can you lose the, what's the word I'm looking at? Can you lose the attachment to the opinions of other people? Can you sort of let go of the keeping up with the Joneses? Can you let go of concern about what's going on left and right of you? And can you just focus on your goals and let go of the other opinions? You know, what so-and-so thinks of you is none of your business. Especially if it's a negative thought. You know, it doesn't matter. If it's not going to, if that bit of information is not going to move you to the next level in whatever you're going for in life, then it's irrelevant to you. It's not needed in your psyche. Can you stop using the "that's such a bad thing" or what label? Can you stop, I guess, saying whether something was good or bad? And we shared this in previous Healthy, Wealthy, Wise shows about the story of the farmer, the story of the farmer whose horse ran away. And anyway, I will keep it short. But you know, essentially, his belief was, we don't know. In this instance, you don't know whether that happening was a good happening or a bad happening. So let go of labeling things bad in your life when you just don't yet know where that particular happening is actually taking you. So interesting there when we really think about that. So don't use the bad label. That's bad. Find a guide, find a mentor, find somebody that can help you towards your goals. So that can really help you to make change, to create change this year. Can you take stock? Can you take stock of what's going on? Create a moving away from list as well as a moving toward list. So, you know, it's all very well to set goals, and it's never good to look at the negative. It's always better to look at the positive. But if you're really wanting to make some shifts, maybe you do need to say, right, I'm no longer going to stand for this, and this. Don't keep focused on that though. Say, okay, what do I want to bring more of into my life? So, you know, always finish with the positive if possible. You could recreate yourself by a makeover, getting a new haircut, considering your skin. Maybe, you know, we have a lot of not a lot of people, but we have a number of people excited to tackle our 10 years younger challenge as they're reinventing themselves, thinking about getting a funky haircut and looking after their skin, and really wanting to, you know, basically look younger, reignite themselves, their belief in themselves, and especially with 2020, with many people in isolation and lockdowns and all that sort of thing, people sort of got used to not having to be dressed and not having to be very smart, not mentally smart, but put together, we could say. And so while that's great that we can do that, could a reinvention of you help you think differently of you? Maybe get a new haircut, whatever. Can you create an environment that fosters success? One of the downsides of 2020 and lockdowns and isolation, all that sort of thing, is that lack of connection and mentoring, that lack of creating an environment that fosters success. So sometimes there can be, if you're not self-motivated and sort of triggered from within, shall we say, that, you know, you can find yourself low because you don't have the environment around you of inspiring people. Well, how can you change that? How can you be more involved in things online? How can you, create that environment for success? Because it really is about your creating that. If you've found any gems from this, do let us know. And look, if you happen to have recently joined in, it's Corey Sievers here from the Savvy team, and I'm coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. We're doing a little bit of a test of some technology because we've got some awesome content lined up. We want to be able to do some more live streams again to kick things off for 2021. It's been a while since we wrapped up season 1 of our Healthy Savvy Life show. So we wanted to be able to do some multi-streaming moving forward. So right now we're broadcasting to one of our private groups, to our Facebook page, to YouTube, to my profile as well. So hi to to the friends that might happen to see this as well. We're talking here about just some ways to recreate yourself and make 2021 your best year yet. So yes, we just were dealing with creating an environment that fosters success. How can you increase your productivity? What things can you do to increase your productivity? Now, I talked before about scheduling your time and being careful with social media, but can you set more parameters to get things done in a quicker space of time? Can you, do you need to segment things better? Do you need to do things earlier in the morning, for example, rather than leaving things too late? Because, when we look at how our brain works, often we have more of a capacity to think earlier in the day, and so our capacity sort of declines as we go through. So can you plan your day to fall in with your peak performance? Can you plan your day to fall in with what works for connecting with other people too? So anyway, so there's some how do you increase your productivity is that tip. Can you reach out onto a new network? We're at the moment working a lot with connecting with people on LinkedIn. Here we are on Facebook and YouTube, but doing some refreshing our network by communicating with a different group of people through LinkedIn. Can you do that? Can you think about a different platform or a different network, connecting with different people? Look, we were talking about saving time there. Can you automate some things? Can you at least automate your bill payments if possible, so that you save time and angst about that? Can you automate other things that don't need your actual time and attention, so that you can focus on more appropriate uses for your time? So Linda coming on and saying hello from my profile. Well, you really are surfing the web, aren't you, Linda? Can you reconnect with people from your friends list or family or someone? Have you thought about going down your Facebook friends list and seeing who you haven't had a chat with for a long time? What about your Instagram following? Or, people you're following on Instagram or that are following you? Mutual connections. Can you reconnect there? Have a conversation that you haven't had in some time? Can you find ways of really cultivating that positive mindset or that grateful mindset? That just getting outside yourself and cultivating the feeling of gratitude can make huge things happen for you. Can you stop a habit? Smoking, sugar. What other habits? What are some bad habits that we could... And don't label things bad. So what are some habits that you're ready to let go of? What could you let go of to make 2021 your best year yet? Do you have a habit that could be retired? Have you considered reviewing your expenses and looking at, again, this is back to values, what's of value to you? So many people just keep things. The problem with automating your payments is if you don't review the expenses, like if you're not in if you're not in a situation where you need to review, like often businesses will review their expenses just by doing their BAS, for those here in Australia, or, doing your taxes or whatever. But if they're personal expenses, often they cannot get that review unless you are good at checking your credit card for fraud or whatever. Can you review your expenses and decide that is no longer of value to me? I want to put money here. Like a lot of people that we work with, when they begin on wellness programs and they're going, all right, now I'm going to be making a larger investment into my well-being. What don't I value anymore? What can I let go of in wasteful expenses that isn't serving me in order to achieve this wellness goal and also maybe still achieve a financial goal? So, can you slow down to speed up? Can you take time out to actually plan? Have you looked at what you can do to improve? Have you looked at the skills that you could improve upon that would then amplify your life this year? Can you slow down enough in the busyness of life to actually think through, it'd be good to learn a bit more about this. It'd be good to learn a bit more about this. And so, unless you schedule time for that to happen, it's just not going to happen. So look at what you can do. Can you slow down so that you become more efficient, so that you can get things done better with less stress later on? Because we can often frenetically do something rather than learning to systematize things, so we don't keep it all in our head, so that we can get things done with less stress. Can you write? I've talked about that before. Can you clean out your wardrobe and get rid of what is holding you back, what's no longer serving you? Can you give that away? Can you donate that to charity? Can you give it to people that you know? And if you've ever looked at some of the things like Marie Kondo and her organizational focus, her focus is, if I'm doing the cleaning up now, do I want to take that item with me into my new life? So if you're sort of recreating yourself this year, you might have fond memories of it, but do you want to take it forward into your new life? Or are you simply looking back at what that meant to you? Now, if it's something has a sentimental, you have a sentimental feeling around it or a memory around it, what can you do to make more of that? So, can you make that, like if it's a jersey or something that you want to keep, can you frame it? Can you make something more of it? If it, what things can you make more of that have sentimental value? Clean out your clothes. Clean out your closet. Can you schedule some of the things so that you don't get behind things like doctor's visits and dentist visits and these sorts of things? Can you put them into a calendar so you don't forget them, and so years don't get away, and so you not then stressing about things? Can you just put them in a calendar so that you remember them and actually take action on them? Can you maybe lower your blood pressure and do something about it? Lower your blood pressure is something that just came to mind because we've been discussing that with some people recently. And one of the predominant pieces of advice is lower your sodium intake. And yet it's pretty much disproven. I mean, not disproven. It still has an impact, but it's more mineral imbalance that can create that. So it's sodium potassium balance and other trace minerals that can create a problem with blood pressure. And more so, it's actually insulin resistance, and it's a sign of insulin resistance and eating too many carbohydrates. So and some of the more, you might not see that on all of the medical sites, but that's what some of the more forward-thinking professionals are starting to really notice. So if people will move on to lessening their grains and carbohydrates and sugar, hence we were talking about reducing sugar. Just start with something like sugar and then move from there. and that will reduce your carb dependency, and that will in time hopefully reduce your insulin, your high insulin levels and your insulin resistance, and that might then have a flow-on effect for your blood pressure. Maybe going into that a little bit too deep, and of course if you're on medication, then you're definitely going to want to chat with your doctor about your medication and maybe even lowering it if you can do some things to get your blood pressure under control. As an aside, we do have some content on how to lower your blood pressure naturally. So what are some of the things that you have planned to make this your best year yet? Tell me that. What do you have planned? Just wanted to venture around and see some of the things going on here. Okay. Good. Any other comments? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to make this your best year yet? So so maybe when you're talking about making changes in your health, we're talking about stop labeling things bad and stop focusing on the negative. So don't stop focusing on what's wrong and focus on what's right, but sometimes a little bit of attention to the what you're not happy with is good, because love this one here, this cartoon from Randy Glasbergen. I could be a healthy person if you'd stop finding things wrong with me, doctor. Maybe you feel a little bit like him, that you could be healthy if you could be healthy, you could be wonderful if people stopped finding things wrong with you. Oh dear. Oh, okay, so we've got some things in here, and that looks like it's come in from... I'm checking out what's going on around on the who's where on the profiles and pages, and it looks like this came in from my profile, Emma. So to review your goals for the year regularly, to check in with mentors and coaches, to do the work and take everything one day at a time, put one foot in front of the other while continue daily gratitude practice. Yeah, really good. And again, sometimes it is putting one foot in front of the other and realizing that, that when you begin any journey, you can't necessarily see where it's going to lead you. So if you've ever driven along a windy road, then, you drive, the signs might say, curve here or whatever, but you head on into it, just believing that the road is going to continue and that you'll be able to deal with things when you turn that corner. And yet, why is it in life that we feel like we've got to know what's around every corner rather than just drive on into that corner and know that the universe has got our back, know that we're going to... Now, I need to learn these things myself, but why don't we just head into that with vim and vigor and know that we'll make that corner in our life, we'll make that change? Why is it that we think, I better not do that because I don't know what's going to happen and all that sort of thing? In 2021, how can you reinvent yourself? How can you get out of your comfort zone and do something different? Look, doing these live sessions isn't different for me. So and doing the multi-streaming, I've done this before. But habit. Can you develop positive habits when you get out of the habit of doing it? Because since the first season of the Healthy Savvy Life show wrapped up, I haven't been doing so much, and I've been doing all sorts of other things with. Won't go into that. Lots of dramas and positives and all that sort of thing. So I haven't been live streaming. So anything that you've stopped the habit of, getting yourself to do it again is hard. That momentum has slowed down. And we did do a session called Newton's Laws of New Year's Resolutions. Now, we did that at the beginning of 2020, and it seemed all very positive and all, but go back and review that. We were talking about 2020, making it your best year yet. Well, a few things happened after that particular show, but the content is still really important, and the concept of momentum, and the fundamental principle is that a body at rest will tend to stay at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. So our philosophy, that's Newton's first law of motion, and so for you, 2021 will be around about the same as what you've had in the past, unless something changes. So nothing changes unless you make a change. So I guess what I'm wanting to do is give you that little bit of a shove, give you that, act upon you. So let me be the outside force that acts upon you to make some changes in your life to make 2021 dynamically different, whether it be in health and vitality or whether it be in your lifestyle in some way. Hello from Belgium. Great to have you on board here, Else. Great to hear from you. And yes, 2020 was an interesting one, wasn't it? She says that I definitely need to move more. A bit of exercise, a bit more exercise, some fitness training would be wonderful. Don't we all? And you don't. By the way, there's a lot of research coming forward as far as you just need to start walking, or if you want to take that up a notch, just do some sprints. Find a bit of a park somewhere and just do 5 sprints. Run as fast as you can and then walk until you catch your breath. Run as fast as you can. The impact that has on your muscle tone and your growth hormone levels and even reducing your blood pressure and all those sorts of things. And it takes less time. So, and some of the research that I've seen into visceral fat content, the bad fat inside you, actually increases in those who are long distance marathon type runners. The unhealthy fat around the internal organs increases in marathon runners. So they're like, they look thin on the outside, but they're fat on the inside, the bad inflammatory fat. Whereas people who sprint and do high intensity exercise, that doesn't happen. That's a bit of a total aside, but thank you, Else, for mentioning fitness. So if you did happen to just jump on, Corey Sievers here, coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and we're testing out a bit of multi-streaming here. So hello to those of you on YouTube, hello to those of you on Facebook, in various places. We want to test out this because we've got some big plans for some shows coming up this year. So Emma says, "Oh, I hear you, Corey. Restarting good habits can be challenging." And as the resistance levels I've experienced are crazy high in that respect. However, awareness is the key, and I'm attempting to change. Yeah, look, it's very easy for us to get resistant to change. And even though I was saying, let me be that outside force that acts upon you, because the law also states that a body in motion will tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. So you will tend to stay in motion towards your goals unless acted upon by something outside of you. And let's face it, we got acted upon big time by Rona recently. So how can you restart things? How can you develop that positive momentum again? So, yes. So again, when we're thinking about making, when you're thinking about making some changes, creating some opportunities, a great Great funny here, great from another one from Randy Glasbergen here. Can you design my new office with many entrances? I want lots of doors of opportunity to knock on. Lots of doors for opportunity to knock on. And that's funny, isn't it? Like, if opportunity knocks, get lots of doors. And it's interesting with that. I hear people often say, and I think I've said it before, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Well, building a door is not going to help, because opportunity is not going to knock necessarily. Opportunity doesn't come a knocking necessarily. But if you make the change and you go a knocking. So if opportunity doesn't knock, my quote is, if opportunity doesn't knock, open the door, get out, and you go a knocking. You go looking for opportunity. What can you do to influence and change how things are going to be for your year? So, nevertheless, I think that's really good. That's really good. Why not have some doors to knock on? So it reminds me of an affirmation. I think it's Florence Scovel Shinn. So Florence Shinn, all doors are now open, all channels are now free, and the whole world says yes to me. So maybe you could practice that one. All doors are now open, all channels are now free, and you can add anything there. But anyway. All right, so what have been some of your key learnings? Had anything in particular from that helped? Love to know your thoughts. And again, if there are any particular topics that you're wanting to know about from, health improvement and whatnot, then we want to be able to share those things with you. So on a positive note, I'm proud that I've been continuing my exercise on my bike at home. Okay, great. Good on you, Emma. So, yes. This is, speaking about health and improvement, this is my dinner. So I'm on a bone broth fast again at the moment. So I'm planning on just doing doing a couple of days each week for a while. This is part of a detox and shedding a little bit of that ISO and festive season love handles and whatnot, and so fasting. We have a whole bunch of different programs that flex to suit your needs as far as weight loss. As I said before, weight management and achieving your goals in the area of weight, just as one example. We believe that since we're all unique and we all have different challenges and idiosyncrasies and metabolisms and hormonal makeups and background issues and everything, that programs need to be flexible to suit your needs. So obviously still focus on principles that work, but be flexible to suit your needs. And so I don't see most programs out there are flexible. They're like, here is the way our program works, this is what people get. And so it's almost like you're in or you're out. There isn't a middle ground. And, our goal is to help you reach your best potential, the next level of wellness for you. And so, that means that little wins can be moving in that right direction. It doesn't need to be, oh my God, I lost 20 kilos or whatever. But we do have programs that can get that done. But we had a message in from a client, and what they asked is, okay, I want to lose this much weight. I want to lose 10 kilos, but I'm not very disciplined, not very committed. What do you suggest? And I was like, okay. I don't. And they were asking about our rapid fat loss protocol. Now, our rapid fat loss protocol, as the name suggests, gets things done quickly. But it's our most disciplined. Yet that's the program you need to be the most committed for, to do, and it's the most disciplined. But you get the job done quickly, and then restabilize that new weight. So, so we ended up having a discussion around that, and as again talking over, we encourage people to have a wellness guide, so that helps like a mentor that helps them reach their goals. And so we discuss strategies around that and products that can help do that, and successes that other people are getting in that arena. But your goals are your goals, and look left and right, look at the success of other people as an inspiration for you, but don't ever let it depress you that things aren't going quick enough for you. Your goals, whether it be weight loss, whether it be, whatever it is, like the 10 years younger challenge I was talking about before, we know in terms of, on that, we know in terms of if our skin is more mature, that it's not going to suddenly look like somebody that's doing the program that's already 30 years younger. And yet we expect the same sort of results with weight loss, for example. Yet there have been, your body changes as you get older, and there are certain levels of toxicity that can build up. So things need to be flexed depending on your goals, and a lot of programs just don't build that in. Anyhow, so I thought I saw something pop up that was a new. Yes, so good for the gut, isn't it, Else? So good idea, bone broth fast. Try that. And it can be difficult for some, so I don't recommend that if you're not already proficient with maybe some intermittent fasting, meaning that if you could get up in the morning and not eat till lunchtime, good. Can you get up in the morning and not eat till dinner time? Great. Have you already gone low carb so that you're not addicted to carbohydrates and not actually in a constant sugar metabolism cycle, that vicious cycle? If you've done that, then you probably can handle fasting, at least bone broth fasting. So it's not water fasting where you eat nothing. You get something to sup on, so you feel like you're got something to do and drink and all that. So good for you, good for healing the digestion, good for healing your gut, good for detoxing your liver. You might find it fascinating that sometimes after 3 days, you think, I haven't been eating for 3 days, and yet where did all of that just come? Like as in going to the toilet, because often you can have that real detox after a bit of time. Your digestive system needs time to rest. Anyhow, that's probably one of the topics that we'll be talking about through the Healthy Savvy Life episodes. But if you did happen to just join us recently, we've been talking, it's Corey here, coming to you live from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and we've just been testing some multi-streaming technology in the lead up to some sessions that we want to do related to health and well-being improvement, predominantly really helping you with hints and tips to reach that next level of wellness. We wrapped up the season 1, we could call it, of the Healthy Savvy Life show last year, and we're just seeing what we can do to really bring you information that's different. And this is the thing, when our whole concept of being savvy is about being astute, sharp, perceptive, and informed. That's what we mean by savvy. And a lot of the things, when you go to Google information, it's the same. You have it tested out. You Google and it's the same information over and over and over again. All of the same medically approved information. And, that's without getting into censorship on, medical censorship with Facebook and Google, these big tech companies. They also have the biggest budgets as far as search engine optimization. So it's interesting that the statistics as far as people finding information, most millennials won't go past the first page when they Google something. So that's assuming that Google serves up what you need. That's a big assumption, since it's based on algorithms and search engine optimization, and that's based on, keywords and sometimes just paying. Get to the top of search results. So I digress. Focus. Anyway. Yeah, so Linda was just saying here, the older you get, the more difficult it is. It doesn't have to be, but it's about, what I was meaning by that is you don't, with an anti-aging program, it's easy to go, well, of course they're going to get results quicker than me because they've already got more youthful skin. So that's what happens with that 10 years younger challenge. People with good skin, they notice, because there's things rebound very quickly. Whereas if you've got poor skin and wrinkles and dry patchy skin and bad hair and nails, they're all warning signs. So the body's very, as a total aside, the body's very smart, and it uses what's called nutritional triage. So if you understand triage in an emergency situation, it's like if we go for an emergency, people who work in emergency departments of hospital or even on the battlefield in wars, if there's somebody injured, they have to, it might sound terrible, but they've got to make a judgment call. Can I do anything to help this person? If not, just keep them comfortable while I help somebody who I could save their life now. The body does that. The body is involved in nutritional triage. And so if you have the symptoms, if your nails aren't good, if your hair's not good, if your teeth isn't good, if your skin's not good, then your body is basically sequestering the nutrients to use elsewhere, because it goes, well, if Buggerlugs doesn't get their diet and nutrition together here, we're going to be in strife here. We've got to look after the heart and the cardiovascular system. So, righto, no more nutrients towards the nails and the hair. Nutritional triage. So they're warning signs. So if you've got problems with your skin, premature aging, cracked nails, skin problems, they're all warning signs that if you don't do something about, then it could manifest into further problems. And anyway, bone broths and healing the gut and everything, they're all important. Collagen, we're big on collagen supplementation, collagen and hyaluronic acid to really nourish the skin and the connective tissues and hair, skin and nails, those sorts of things. So, yeah. So Linda's saying, yes, that was a tongue-in-cheek comment. Oh, yeah, I'm too old. I'm too old to lose weight. What's the point? Some would argue that it's even more important the older that you get to look after yourself more. So, but we believe it's never too early and it's never too late to begin to do something towards your health and well-being. All right, well, thank you for jumping on and helping me test things out here on this multi-streaming platform. So, and I hope you found those tips to help you recreate yourself in 2021 and make this your best year yet. Hope you found those tips helpful. And as I said, the going and checking out the Newton's Laws of New Year's Resolutions on our Facebook page. Sorry for those of you on YouTube, I don't believe we have it on the YouTube channel, but and I'll probably re-record that before we get it up for you guys on YouTube, but it is on Facebook. Yes, as Linda's saying to Emma here, go gently. Like, gently's good, but when we're recreating ourselves, sometimes it takes that shove, that, acted upon by that outside force. So here's me acting upon you. What are you going to do to make a shift this year? How's it going to change? If you change nothing, nothing changes. If you change nothing, nothing changes. So, again, tell me, let us know what you would like to see more content on. I'd love to hear it. So, I think that is about it for me this particular session. Again, thank you so much for spending time with me. I really do appreciate you giving me some faces to test and be able to test out what goes on here. So we're going to be doing a lot more multi-streaming. So if you happen to be joining us on our YouTube channel, you'll see that come through Facebook as well. And hello to those of you who joined via my profile, Facebook profile. So great to have you as friends and followers. So, all right. By the way, too, if you're on LinkedIn, come swing by. Let's hang out on LinkedIn as well. So, I might have to put all of the links in the comments. So, all right, so that's it from me. Let's together make 2021 your best year yet. Really looking forward to sharing some hints and tips this year to help you transform this year, take control, and, you know, show everyone around you how it's really done, how you can recreate yourself this year. All right, all the best, and we look forward to catching up with you sometime around in the future. So until next time, remember to be savvy. Cheers.